This is Andi for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm joined by promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, you okay?
I'm all right, but as I'll just be honest with people, as I am, we just went to start the interview and I said, I'm dying for a slash. I really need to go to the toilet. They just told me it's miles away. So therefore, I'm going to have to do this interview. I will be concerned for my bladder, but I will also be a true professional and get this done in a timely fashion.
Well, as long as you don't start kind of letting loose here. Yeah, exactly.
You're fine for that, don't worry, Andrew.
I'm glad to know. Eddie, obviously we have the press conference today, Canelo-Bivol. What did you make of the size difference on stage? Because it doesn't seem together that it's as big as what maybe people would have thought beforehand.
Yeah, it's pretty big. I mean, Canelo had some nice shoes on there. There's a significant size difference. I mean, you know that Canelo Alvarez is not making weight in any shape or form for this fight. No cutting weight, no baths, no late night sessions. He's probably eating his way to 175 pounds, and Dimitri Bivol will be cutting weight to make 175. When they get in the ring, Dimitri Bivol will be 190 pounds. Canelo Alvarez will probably be 177, 178. So there is a huge size difference in this fight. I love the fight and I love hearing them talk, because I look in Dimitri Bivol's eyes and I say, this is it for you, isn't it? This is what you've always wanted, you know, through that incredible amateur career, you know, those world championships as an amateur, through really strolling through the world championship at light heavyweight. This is what you've been searching for a long time. So good luck to him, and he's going to be facing the king of the sport on Saturday, and of course 20,000 Mexican fans as well.
Everyone inside the sport knows how difficult a test this will be for Canelo, but how much of a shock do you think it would be if Bivol was to overcome him?
It's a shock, because any time Canelo gets beat, it's a huge shock. But
it's only happened once.
Yeah, and I see, you know, or I should say, any time Canelo would get beat would be a huge shock by anybody at this stage. And I think that I put it like, I don't know, I'll make him like a 80-20 favourite, 70-30 favourite to win this fight. Canelo, I think he's a favourite in the fight because he's a genius. But I think Dimitri Bivol is an outstanding fighter.
The first DAZN pay-per-view, Eddie, here in America. I see you crossing your legs now as well. What are you expecting it to do?
Fantastic numbers. You know, we've already seen a huge pre-sale number that tracks towards where we need to be. You know, you have to remember there's millions of millions of DAZN subscribers in the US in terms of current subscribers and people that have been part of the platform before. DAZN are outstanding at re-engaging subscribers. You know, Canelo Alvarez he's a bit like Anthony Joshua in that you're an absolute pay-per-view surefire hit. You know where you're at. You know, this model from DAZN is very interesting, where the fighter has, you know, lesser risk than they would on a normal pay-per-view platform. And I think that pay-per-view on DAZN in the US, don't forget, not in the UK, is something that is a one-off for the likes of Canelo Alvarez, because he reached the stage where he's making that much money that the traditional part of your subscription fee, it just can't work. So if you want to be competitive for the pound for pound number one, this is a functionality that you need to have. It's not that, well, there's no conversations from DAZN, any more pay-per-views. You know, the business of DAZN in America is outstanding. You know, they had huge sign-ups for the Ryan Garcia fight, huge sign-ups for the Katie Taylor against Serrano fight. You know, their subscription numbers are in a fantastic place right now. But this is the test this week for their pay-per-view functionality. You've got a great undercard, you've got a great main event, and I believe we're going to do fantastic numbers.
Was it naive
and big sign-ups for the UK?
Was it naive reflecting on it to suggest that DAZN wouldn't have gone down that pay-per-view originally?
Because at the time, Andy, you didn't have to. At the time, Canelo Alvarez was at a specific value in terms of his commercial worth, if you like, and that has gone up considerably. So he's making much more money now than he was when DAZN entered the market. So at that purse, no one knew that he would continue this incredible growth, and Showtime would come in and pay him 45-50 million a fight, and etc. etc. So I don't think it was naive at all. There was never any plans from DAZN on launch 3 or 4 years ago to have pay-per-view events. Just now there's one fighter that, because of his significant value in the marketplace, that is the model that works. The schedule is second to none. We've seen that, and I think they're in a great place.
Talking about pay-per-view numbers and just numbers generally, viewership-wise, rather, instead of pay-per-view, obviously we touched on Taylor Serrano yesterday. Shakur Stevenson did 1.3 million average and then peaked 1.4 million. Just want to get your thoughts on those numbers competing with Taylor Serrano. That was just in America.
Yeah, I know. And we obviously didn't do the same numbers as ESPN. We wouldn't expect to, but we did a huge number that beats virtually every other US platform. ESPN is a huge platform. I think it was we were affected by the numbers of the Shakur Stevenson fight, and so were they. We know these clashes don't really work for anyone, but our number was huge for our platform and huge for every other platform. Just that ESPN is a significant platform and a great number. And the fact that fight did such a big number is brilliant for everybody, because there's so many broadcasters at the moment in the sport. We have to deliver. If the numbers aren't good, no one's interested. So other platforms see those ESPN numbers and go, boxing's working. And we need these broadcasters and platforms to keep investing in the sport.
Do you regret saying nobody was talking about the Shakur fight last week?
No, because do you think they were in comparison to Taylor Serrano? Be honest.
I was in New York, so I can't really
answer the question.
I can't, because I wasn't.
No, but you don't. You just sit on the fence. You were there. Of all the noise you heard last week, and forget the fact that you were there. Of all the noise was Taylor Serrano. It doesn't matter that we didn't do as big a number than Shakur Stevenson. Of course, ESPN is a bigger platform than DAZN. But everybody last week was talking about Taylor Serrano. It was all across the media in much more of a capacity than Stevenson. And I'm talking worldwide as well. So I feel that everybody, or the bulk of the conversation was, of course, that fight. I always said, Valdez-Stevenson, brilliant fight. But that was the moment last week. Viewing figures aside, which we never expected to compete on, that was the vocal point for boxing last weekend. An absolutely historic moment. And it's on the BBC now.
Just a few more which I want to touch on. Your promo video, or post-promo video, Mr. Bob Arum featuring in it. Can you just kind of enlighten me on that?
It was put together by our content guys. I thought it was outstanding. It wasn't a dig at Bob Arum. It was a dig at people in general that don't support women's boxing or aren't believers. Bob Arum is not a believer in women's boxing. My dad wasn't a believer in women's boxing until he started to watch Katie Taylor. So it's not a dig at ESPN and Bob Arum. They made it he's made his point clear. What it was a reflection of that kind of mindset and opinion of women's boxing just got blasted out the water by Taylor Serrano. So yeah, not a dig at Bob. I'm sure, like, if I said something controversial, maybe he'll do another diss video for me, or of me saying everyone's talking about that, but that'd be good. I think it's a good bit of competition.
Joe Cordina gets his first crack at World Honours June 4th.
Amazing. Such a tough fight against Agawa, who is very, very strong, very dangerous. But this is it for Joe. I remember watching Joe in a Tri-Nations event at York Hall probably, 10 years ago. And I said to myself, that kid is unbelievable. That kid will become world champion. And we sit now, 4 or 5 weeks away from him fighting in Cardiff against a world champion. Same weight class as Shakur Stevenson, chance to take that piece of the division. It's the ultimate moment for Joe Cordina, the ultimate moment for Welsh boxing. This kid could be a superstar. It's a really, really tough fight. But thank you to DAZN for bringing a world champion to Cardiff to give Joe Cordina this incredible opportunity, and he has to take it June 4th.
Two quick ones. Demetrius Andrade pulling out of the Zach Parker fight. Sorry, Eddie. Just your thoughts on how that might help you guys with Buatsi Richards on the same night. Well, what would have been the same?
No, I mean, it is what it is. Of course, now there's no other show on May 21st. Great for Buatsi Richards, but still, you don't want, Zach Parker, and I'm sure they've incurred a lot of costs through doing a stadium fight, and it's frustrating for them. It's frustrating for Demetrius Andrade. So it's not that we're celebrating the fact there's going to be a bigger audience for Buatsi Richards, but hopefully they can reschedule the fight.
Final one, I saw some reports that Ben Whittaker's about to sign with Sky and Boxer. I don't suppose you've heard anything?
I believe so. I saw the offer. Jesus Christ. It's like literally the offer was twice what we were prepared to pay. And I think, I think Ben knows what we can deliver for him worldwide, but the money's crazy. So good luck to him.
Did they give you that type of backing before you'd left? Was they offering?
Come on. No. But it's great. Again, I go back to being aggressive, but there's a couple of times everybody wants to sign with us, and the management companies, whoever it is, will say, this is the offer, can you match it, or can you get anywhere near? You have to look at the value of the fighter, and Ben's a great fighter, and we were in talks with him, but then the final offer from Sky was literally twice as much. So I think, why not just take it? And I think it's a short-term deal anyway. So he's a good fighter, good platform for them, but we have to get the business right, otherwise there's no long-term sustainability.
I appreciate your time. Hope you find the toilet soon.
Thank you.